If you're working on a project with a lot of different branches and probably a lot of different files, it's very easy to forget where certain things are located. As with any system, it's important that you can actually search the actual contents of the system to find what you're looking for. If you've used any sort of Linux system in the past, you may be familiar with the grep command. This allows us to search using regular expressions, amongst other things, and return the results in a list. Git has an implementation of the grep command, which is almost identical in functionality to the typical Linux grep command, with some small additions. For example, adding the -n flag returns the actual line number of any results as well as the actual results themselves. So if we search for content, which is words that we've used in a couple of different places within our project so far, we can see that the results are returned, and the results include the name of the file, a colon with a number, which is the line number of that actual line, followed by the actual line itself, which contains the result. Because this is very similar to the Linux implementation, we can do similar things as you would expect to find within the Linux implementation. For example, $and will not actually return any results, because the $sign indicates the end of a line. If instead we did something like file $, we will receive a result because the $sign represents the end of line character. Obviously, one of the biggest features of GitHub and Git in general is the fact that it's a versioning system, which means that it monitors the state of files over time, and accordingly those files do change. And so you may find yourself looking for not just a search term in the current versions of the files, but a search term in previous versions of the files as well. And this also allows me to introduce you to the feature called git log. The git log command will return all of the commits which have been made to a project and can be scrolled through to the very beginning of the project. To exit the git log, you press Q, which may not be an immediately obvious shortcut if you're not used to using git log. But this does also allow us to go ahead and search these results. I've gone ahead and created a JavaScript test file, which will allow us to actually demonstrate how to use the search functionality within the git log feature. So if we show git log again, we can see that I've added this JavaScript file. If I clear this screen and type again git log, but this time we add the L flag to it, and we add a space and a colon, followed by the name of the function that we're interested in. In this example, we're going to look at test, and we're going to also provide the name of the file, which is test.js. This will give us all instances where we have this file. So you can see that this is returning the commit where the file was added, as well as very quickly showing the fact that this is what the line looks like, as well as the position of the search term within the file itself. So if we open up the test.js file, we can see that this is on the very first line, on the very first character. If instead of just having test here, we added return true, and then saved this change by committing it again, and then executing the same command for the git log. This means that if you're working in a collaborative environment, if someone else deletes some methods that you've been working on, you'll be able to identify where the method was deleted and then go ahead and look at the commit message, which will hopefully explain why the method or the function was deleted. In the next video, we're going to look at the git log command in more detail, and we're going to actually use it to rewrite history. so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that.